I don't think we anticipated an independent library. What we were trying to do initially was just to prove to the Great River Regional Library that this small town could respond and provide what is needed for a branch library. So we put out a request for donations and a request for quality used books, and the thing just snowballed. Once the people of Maple Lake got it in their head that yes, we could possibly have a library, they weren't willing to let it go. Despite the fact that we had already begun a fundraising drive and we had already begun collecting books, they ultimately denied our request for a branch library. But the books and the donations just kept on coming. And I think that really speaks to the character of the people of Maple Lake. They just wouldn't take no for an answer. I mean, a library was something that this community really wanted, and they were determined to get it.
What was the duck doing? Quacking! Oh my goodness!
The programs for children that are provided by our library, I think are second to none.
The children come in once a week, and I would read stories and do little songs, poems, nursery rhymes.
We come to story time because it's something fun to do. It's convenient and it's free, and the kids look forward to it every week.
Are you guys here next week? Or are you...
With these little ones, they're getting ready for school. They're learning to sit still. They're learning to listen. They're learning to share. I had 30 years in kindergarten, which I thoroughly loved, so I wanted to do something for that age group.
We are very fortunate to have volunteers who are very knowledgeable. I mean, we have a whole staff of retired teachers who know what it's like to serve the needs of kids.
Reading over the summer has proven to help students get ready for the fall when they go back to school. I think the Maple Lake Library complements the school and vice versa. One of the reading programs we have, it's called Battle of the Books, and we have lists for each grade to read. And it's really good because we give the list out in the spring, and in the summertime, children come in here and start reading.
The last 2 years we've been part of the summer reading bingo program, which the kids love because every time they get a bingo they get a little prize, and then at the end of the summer they get free movie tickets. So that was exciting, and what a great incentive. It's just made reading more fun for them.
The computers, especially in a time of a down economy, I think have been a godsend to a number of people.
People come in here, they don't have computers at home, so they look for jobs. They write their resumes here. So I believe not only does it bring the community closer, it brings people into the community.
Well, I moved here to work, and the job wasn't quite working out like expected. I wasn't getting the hours, and I thought, well, what am I going to do with my downtime? Came here to the library, and I looked at the top 10 careers in the United States, the top 10 growth areas, and I said, well, pick one of them. And so I picked one, and I chose one school, and it happened to be online. They told me I needed a computer, so I was planning on getting a computer hooked up and paying all this, and everything fell through. They said, well, we do have several people using the library. And so I didn't know if that really would work here or not. It worked excellent, 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 excellent. So I'm about 25%, 30% done with my schooling now. I probably wouldn't be getting this degree if the library wasn't here.
There are people who perhaps can't afford to have an internet connection in their home, but here they have access to the entire world through Maple Lakes Library, and I think that's a wonderful thing.
I moved here, and I didn't know what to expect about the community because the world is so big and so impersonal. I was just expecting probably more of the same, and it didn't turn out that way at all. I guess I got my sense of community from Maple Lake here at the library.
Mr. and Mrs. John. Oh, this was the little girl that died. This is the little girl. Yeah, you didn't probably...
Probably one of my favorite things is we are developing an archive at the Maple Lake Library. We're not like the Wright County Historical Society that has beautiful facilities, huge buildings, and has lots of room to collect. So we decided how to do it would be to do it electronically. In the computer, you would look for your family name, you click on it, and up would come the document, and there would be your information on your family. And if it's information you'd like to keep and use, then we can print it for you. And that's how we've set up the library with a minimum amount of space. All of our space is actually in our computer.
And for people that are local, it's going to be a wonderful thing because they can come in and look up their ancestry, and several have done it.
One of our volunteers who works here, she knows I have been researching her family, and she came in one day while I was working, and I said, well, check the computer, see if there's anything on there that I've added. And she goes, oh my goodness, it's one of my grandparents' obituaries. And then it was like about a minute, and she was literally jumping around over by the computer. She was just jumping from excitement because in that obituary was listed her great-grandparents' names, which she had never seen before, and where they had come from. And she was just ecstatic. She took a copy of the obituary to take it home to her dad to show him. This is the type of thing that we're going to make available for the community. So if you're interested in history or doing your family tree, I think we're going to have some valuable information for you.
We'll supply you with a bag for them. Okay. And we'll just get them checked out here. Okay.
The Nothnagels had come in a time or two, and I could see that she was having a little difficulty finding what it was she was looking for.
She'd say, well, do you want me to help you? And I said, well, yeah.
I think at that point she was into Nicholas Sparks, and we were able to find some of those for her. And then she mentioned that her husband, who is very hard of hearing, isn't a TV watcher anymore.
My husband is over 90, so he doesn't do much outside things, so he reads and plays cards.
He had been putting puzzles together, but he was tired of doing that.
So he came up here to get started on the books.
He kind of liked Westerns. Well, at that time we were getting a lot of donations of Westerns. I don't know if it was coincidental or what.
And Wendy would go back and help, and she would sit there and read one. I said, no, he's read that one. Then she'd get out another one, no, he's read that one.
And we were both of us getting a little confused about it, so I asked Kath, our librarian, if she could make up a list.
So we could keep track of and not double up on them.
The limit is 10, so we had to have 10 of those Westerns every week or so.
Yeah, we were taking about 10 books home, and we were back in about 9 or 10 days.
I think now he's gone through most of the Westerns, and now we're working on mysteries. But he's still reading, and they're still coming in very frequently, and it's just been a fun experience.
She's been the big helper, but they're all helpful, so it's a good group of people, good group of volunteers.
Presently we have over 30 volunteers who actually keep this library running and functioning.
We help the patrons, of course, but there's also a lot of other work involved, keeping the books on the shelves, keeping them alphabetized.
We're not paid, we do it because we love to do it.
I do a lot of behind the scenes. I might do it from home. I'll do it after hours when nobody's here. So you may not see me.
But I see the hard work that's being done here, and it's just unbelievable. It's by volunteers.
I've been amazed by what the volunteers have been able to do and to put this library together with no funding.
It does take money to keep the doors open and to keep computers running, and the library has made a very strong effort to get updated materials.
Well, we feel that we have a responsibility to the community in that we want to be pretty current, and we are now, but we also need the community's support.
When we first anticipated having a library in Maple Lake, it was going to be in a new city hall, and the city hall was going to provide that space free of charge. Without that, we have rent to pay as an independent library.
Because of our popularity, when being new, we've been able to function very nicely. But without the continued support of the community, we'll falter. And we don't want that to happen.
So that need will always be there, and we hope that people will heed that call and stand behind their library and continue to support it.
When you look around this building and you see the number of items that we have, and when there are people at all 4 computers, and there are people standing in the aisles looking for books, and there are people at the counter checking in, checking out, asking questions. It makes every minute of our hard work so worth it. It's just been a real accomplishment.
Like I said, this is where the sense of community stems from here at the library, and it emanates out. And so I just think of this, the library is an extension of what Maple Lake is about.
This community has done many things over the years, wonderful things, parks and playgrounds and wonderful things that have happened at the school. But if you can put your finger on one thing that should really be posted on a flag outside of town or a billboard, I think this library is it, because it was an opportunity for the people in this community to come together and do something great, and wouldn't you know, they did it. They stood up and did it.